Hello, welcome everyone.
Welcome.
Hello. Welcome everyone. We're going to get started soon. We're talking about our 21-day skin detox today. Hello, Gail. If you want to plug into the chat where you're joining from, of course, we'd love to see your faces on there. Also, have you done our skin detox before? We've had a few editions of this one, so let us know if you have ever done this before and how it was for you.
Yeah, I'm super curious to hear those responses. Like Rachel said, we've had the skin detox, different iterations for quite some time now. So if you've been with us for a while, you might have tried it.
Yeah, 10 years ago. It's wild.
Yeah.
Okay.
Austin.
Hi, Carol. Good to see your face or your face on the Zoom. Okay, we got people from Georgia, Tennessee, California, Washington, D.C., Boston, Montana, Oregon. I was gonna say, was that sarcasm that it's sunny? Exciting. North Carolina, Maryland, New York. Amazing. Welcome. Texas. This is our first skin detox call that we've had. We've had the skin detox out for a while, and we've done a few different editions on it. And, as our products evolved, as information has evolved, we've changed it. But this is the first time we're doing a group skin detox together with our team and our customers. So we're
Yeah.
really excited for this one. Okay, great. New York, Texas again. Great. We'll get started in just a second here. Hi, Pam.
Finally, sun. It's still cloudy where I'm at. I'm in the Midwest also. It's a little cloudy here.
So nice as like spring is approaching. We're all just like, yes, we
I
made it.
know.
We made it through.
Sunshine. Oh,
Yeah. Mm, Florida. Okay. We have a good group here.
mhm.
All right, let's get started. So as a reminder, we'd love to see your faces. If you want to have video on, that's great. If not, that's okay too. If you want to go on mute, that would be lovely. Today we're talking about our 21-day skin detox. We're kicking off an event that we are joining our whole team and our customers, and we're all doing it together starting next week, May 5th. And so we kind of just wanted to go over what it's about, what you can anticipate, how to not be so intense with it, and then we're going to dive into products and how to incorporate Emery skincare products into the skin detox routine. But without further ado, we do have some specials. So, Grace, do you want to mention those?
Yes, of course. I'm very excited for these specials because they are very unique and only offered to those on the call. We have two codes for you today that I will be putting in the chat as well. One of them is, I would say it out loud, but it's kind of long, so just look in the chat. We are offering you the Skin Detox Guide completely free today, which is super exciting to get you started on your journey. And then with that, we also have a 20% off site-wide code for our products as well to kind of help guide you along the way. So I will put those in the chat. They are stackable. They do work together, so there would be no issues there. And both of these codes are live until midnight tonight. So you have a long time until then, but you have until the end of the day today to shop. So yeah, super exciting.
Thanks, Grace. Yeah, and as she mentioned, if you're listening at a later time and you're not live with us, these codes are not applicable to you. So just join our next one and you'll get some deals as well. And then we're also going to do a bunch of giveaways today. So,
Yeah.
all right,
Should we jump in? Should we start?
let's do it.
So I want to kind of get into like what the 21-day skin detox is. So for some of you, you may have just seen the text message and hopped on. But what this is, so we've got the code for you. You're going to be able to download the 21-day skin detox guide, which is basically a PDF that's going to walk you through 21 days of how to support and see changes in your skin. This detox guide is going to be looking at things like food. It's going to be looking at things like stress, water consumption, and of course, it's going to be talking about skincare and clean skincare, our skincare, all of that. Rachel, do you want to talk about why we created this in the first place? Because you were around when this first came to be.
Yeah, so I actually wrote this one with a former ASCT member. And the idea behind it was to create kind of a guide where you are detoxing your skin, you're allowing your skin and just your body to glow a little bit more, but you're not being super regimented about it. You're not being so intense. And it's interesting because my husband was asking me this morning, he's like, so are you going to tell them that you were eating pancakes this morning? And I was like, well, it didn't start. It's starting next week. And he's like, well, what does that mean? What are you going to be doing? And I was like, well, it's not going to be so intense. Like, so if you drink coffee every single day, which I know some people do, cut it down to maybe once or twice the first week. And we'll get into each week and what, they mean. And then the second week, maybe you switch to decaf for those 2 times. And then by the third week, you eliminate it altogether. And the same thing with gluten or sugar or dairy. If you eat gluten every day, cut it back. If you eat dairy maybe once a week, maybe the first week you can just knock it out and sub it with cashew milk or something like that. And sugar, maybe you swap it with honey or a little bit of maple syrup. And by the second and third week, you slowly reduce it and eliminate it. So the goal is not to be so strict on yourself. It's to just love yourself and give it a little bit of extra nutrients. And same thing with meat. We go into the guide. In the guide, you'll see every single day broken out. And you'll see a little bit of information about meat and factory farming. And if you are going to eat meat, we recommend, and we'll get into the do's and don'ts of what we suggest. But if you are going to eat meat, eat organic. If you are going to eat dairy, choose organic or raw or grass-fed, grass-finished. Alcohol, completely removing. And then we talk a little bit about alcohol and kind of clean alcohol, non-clean alcohol, things like that. So the whole thing is meant to be a little bit more gentle and soft with incorporating into your life so that you can possibly do it longer and you can maintain it. That's kind of the gist of it. And then also with food and diet, it's incorporating a skincare routine, also meditation, daily affirmations, exercise, talking about your sleep, talking about your water intake. We give a lot of recipes, juices, smoothies, soups, really nourishing recipes. What else is there? Journaling. I think that covers a lot of it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and like Rachel said, it is meant to be kind of like a stepping stone. Not that this is needs to be like the foundation for a whole life overhaul. It could be if that's what it feels like for you, but just a little bit of an introduction and other ways of kind of connecting to the body and connecting to yourself, and then of course connecting to your skin over the 21 days. And the fact that we're all doing it together is also really lovely because some days might be hard, especially if you are really used to coffee or really used to, like dairy every morning and you're transitioning that. Like, yeah, you might have some feelings about it, but we're all doing it with you. So, yeah.
Interesting point. I just texted a friend of mine. I was like, here, if you want to join, if you have a friend who you think might want to join, I'm going to put it in the chat. Just send them this link and say, join on this call now. I need you to do this with me. And try to get your bestie to do it with you because it's a lot easier when you have someone to kind of pull in the ropes where you're like, okay, we're not eating gluten, we're not eating sugar, we're not eating this. So, if you do have someone, send them that link, have them join. And if not, we're here, we're doing it with you. And you could always write into ours, yes, Katie and Kate and Alexandra. Okay. So I guess we only have a couple giveaways planned, but I kind of want to just throw in more just because I feel like that's why people join these live events. Kate, what do you think we should do for our first giveaway?
Product wise?
Yeah,
Hmm. Uh,
the best thing you would say for the skin detox. Boosting elixirs?
Probably boosting elixirs. I also went to the Radiant Sea mask and polish. That's another thing that I was like, oh, that could be good in there as detoxing skin. But let's do the concentrated boosting elixirs because I like those are great for everyone and they round out their routine so much.
Great. Okay. We have close to 80 people on the call. So if you want to plug into the chat, let us know what you're most looking forward to. What are your goals with the skin detox and joining today?
Mhm.
And then we'll choose two winners. I think that sounds great.
That sounds awesome.
Clear skin, yes.
Oh, rehydrate skin. Yeah, that's awesome.
Sugar, no sugar. That's such a big one. And we have,
I
it's like, it's
sorry.
why I do it. And because there's so
Yeah,
much information on glycation and what it does to our skin in the book and
yeah.
on our blog. So I'm really excited for that as well.
Yeah, that I was gonna insert there. Like that's also a huge reason that I'm doing it is just like a sugar reset after the winter. I mean, all of that food over the holidays. And I know we're several months out now, but I just need the kickstart for my habits.
Skin glow, like-minded community, awesome.
Mood sludge.
More holistic approach, dewy hydrated skin, coffee, spring reset, better eating habits. Amazing. Complete plant-based diet. I think now's a good time because it's not necessarily still winter. Like doing it in January, you'd still want warming foods, but I think we could do this a lot easier now that it's getting very warm.
Well, that was part of the intention with picking this date and time was like going with the new year of nature versus like the new year of the calendar and like taking this transitional step into spring with kind of this reset. So it is purposeful that we're doing this now and not January 1.
Yeah, for sure. Deepen my connection to self. I love that. Okay, Grace, how are you doing? Do you have two winners? Let's do three. There's a lot of people here. Sorry.
Okay, no, you're totally fine. Give me like 2 more seconds.
Yeah. Sorry. Brightening your skin. Yeah, I think we can accomplish all of this. I always feel really good. I mean, even just the diet piece alone and
Mhm.
incorporating more water into my life, my skin looks a lot different. But then also adding in the detoxifying products and skincare.
Yeah.
Yay, I love this. Whenever you're ready, you could just go off mute.
Okay, I'm ready. I got
Okay.
them. So our three winners are Marguerite Teresa Weeks, Nicole Gage, Rita Roherberg. So I will put those names in the chat because I'm so sorry if I pronounce those wrong. But we do have a form for you to fill out, which is just basic contact info. For all of our giveaway winners, if you can fill out that form, that's going to be how I contact you after the call to get you those products sent over. So you can find that in the chat, and that would be lovely. So yay. Yay to you three.
Yay. Yeah.
Congratulations. Yay. Okay. All right. So, diving into kind of like what the do's and don'ts are with the detox, which you'll see again as a reminder for we've had quite a few people join in the past 5 minutes. The skin detox is free until midnight. So, you'll have the link in the chat, the code in the chat, and then you'll also get 20% off all products. So,
Mhm.
any products you think after hearing this call, maybe get a pen and paper now, take notes, write down what you think you're going to want to use throughout the next 3 weeks, and then you can get a discount.
Mhm.
But part of the do's and don'ts, so the do's are meditate, daily affirmations, journaling, be kind to yourself, eating vegetables with every meal. I'd also say fruits, making juices and smoothies. So kind of, getting out your Vitamix or your juice or whatever you have, or finding your local shop that might have it. Prepping on some food this weekend so that come Monday you can start drinking clean water. So making sure your water is not just clean, not fluoridated. Maybe if you have spring water handy. Stretching daily and regularly, and then exercising and sweat. And it doesn't have to be a HIIT exercise and going to the gym. Just walking outside in nature is great. So getting some sort of movement. Kate, you want to do the don'ts?
Yeah, I want to do the don'ts. So when we say don't, I think the biggest takeaway, with all of this is like, please have grace with yourself because if this is the first time you've ever done any kind of detox or any kind of shift like this, there might be a little bit of a growth process. So if you, 4 days in have something with a ton of sugar, you don't need to give up the whole thing.
Yeah.
Just, come right back to it and you're still going to see some changes in the skin and in how you feel just in general. But the don'ts, so don't eat dairy. And like Rachel mentioned, maybe if dairy is like your number one kind of anchor in a lot of your meals or your food, maybe consider looking into raw dairy or making sure that you're getting A2 dairy or something like that. Don't drink alcohol. I don't have a good alternative if you are a regular alcohol drinker.
Maybe
Um,
kombucha.
Kombucha,
Yeah.
yeah, that can, or like a sparkling water that
Yeah.
could kind of fill that spot. Don't drink coffee. Again, I know this is a wild one for so many people. I'll share what I do, because I'm kind of an in and out coffee drinker. I sometimes have it, sometimes don't, but I do a lot of Dandy Blend. Uh,
Mm.
I'll do cacao and Tea is another one. That's like they look like a tea bag. I feel like Dandy Blend and Ticino do a good job of really kind of holding the coffee ritual. They have a nice body to them, without being caffeinated. They don't have caffeine. Um, so those are my general replacements.
As you're chatting, and I see things pop in the chat box here. So caffeine is the big umbrella here. So yes, we say coffee, but the idea is to really eliminate caffeine from your diet and your skincare in your body internally. So if you're saying tea, if you're already drinking coffee, then maybe you do tea for the first week, and then maybe the second week you cut it back, and then the third week you eliminate it altogether.
Mhm.
If you're drinking mushroom coffee, it's if it still has caffeine in coffee, it's lumped into that umbrella. So maybe cut it back to maybe once or twice a week and then slowly eliminate it. And then green tea, if you're drinking coffee right now, sure, switch to green tea. If you're already drinking green tea, just reduce it and then slowly eliminate it and go to herbal. So it's just
Mhm.
like taking what you already do and just getting a little bit further away from it.
Yeah, yeah, and dialing it down. And if you are, on this transition, sequence, like generally mushroom coffee does have less caffeine than like a standard coffee you might get at a grocery store or some, a coffee bean. But it does still have caffeine in it. So take that into consideration. Uh,
Just sorry, one last thing.
yeah,
Someone had mentioned caffeine withdrawal could be major, 100%, which is
yeah,
why I would never say if you drink caffeine every day, cut it out cold turkey. That would give you
right.
massive headaches. So if you do drink caffeine every day, cut it back to maybe every other day. So it's about a slow process because you don't want to have headaches because then you're going to be miserable and you're going to look back to this and think it was the worst experience.
Yeah,
So I would not recommend doing that.
yeah.
I personally drink hot chocolate in the morning, so I'm going to cut it back to maybe every 2 or 3 days, and then I'm going to reduce it and just switch to an herbal. So
Uh-huh.
I don't drink caffeine regularly, so I'm not going to have that much of a thing. But I remember 5, 10 years ago I did, and I would never cut it out like cold turkey because my head
Yeah.
would explode.
Yeah, yeah. Please prioritize your comfort. Stretch where you can, but don't crank yourself into something miserable. And this is true for the next ones too. Eating added sugar, eating processed foods, eating gluten. Um, all of these things. I'm a bread maker, I like to bake, but even that, I'm just gonna kind of dial it down over the next few weeks and take a break from it, which will kind of be good for my kitchen anyway, to not have baking supplies all over. But the sugar one is real, and that's another one that I personally really have to like kind of attune to dialing that down because I have such a sweet tooth. And so going cold turkey, I mean, sometimes that is really hard for me. So I also am gonna show up and have grace for myself kind of in my transition, really, really making an attempt to dial the sugar down. In the detox guide, we do have a lot of recipes. And so while you've got the code to download that today while you're poking through it, preparing this weekend for this to start on Monday. So the 21 detox will start on Monday, and I don't remember which day it ends. 21 days later. You've got time to kind of really be intentional and plan out some groceries and like, make sure that you've got a plan going into this week. And looking at the recipes in the 21-day detox guide is kind of a great way to start. Like everything that's included in that guide is fits within everything that we're recommending here. So look to that too for some inspo or to kickstart some ideas for what you might prepare for yourself or cook or all of that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
sugar is real. I was just thinking, if you're eating sugar now, still enjoy cooking and baking things and make stuff your first week, just maybe using honey. And then
Mhm.
just as we've mentioned before, slowly introduce getting rid of it. So whether that's 7 days later or 14 days later or 16 or 20 days later, just by the end, try to have it to where you're not in that regular routine where you're eating a pastry and drinking coffee and eating a steak and drinking a glass of wine. You know what I mean? Like slowly reduce all the things so that you can get to this goal. We've had quite a few people join. So I just want to mention to everyone, we're talking about our 21-day skin detox. We're doing two specials right now. We're doing a free skin detox until midnight. The link will be in the chat. We're doing a lot of giveaways during this call, and then we're also doing 20% off until midnight as well. So as we talk about all the products to use during these 21 days, you'll have an opportunity to write them down and get them and appreciate them. Date sugar, I love date sugar as a substitute. I
Mm,
still would limit it. So, like coconut nectar, honey, date sugar, and then slowly reducing it from there. But yes,
yeah.
date sugar I think is great.
Yeah. Monk fruit too is another that you could kind of dial down with.
Mhm.
Yeah.
A few people have asked about dry brushing. That is another thing we recommend and talk about in the skin detox. So, yes, dry brushing, and we have one on our site. So, feel free to get that one. I love it. It's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we do another giveaway?
I love that idea. Let's do another giveaway. Let's do a giveaway for, oh gosh, you pick this one. I did the last one.
Goodness. Well, I'm thinking dry brushes now that people are asking about it.
Oh,
Let's do 5 dry brushes. Hopefully, we have a lot.
that's
Being at
perfect.
Rach right now. Yeah, let's do 5. So, have you ever dry brushed? What do you typically do for exfoliation? Do you know much about Anything you want to mention about dry brushing, let us know. And we'll pick 5 winners, or Grace will pick 5 winners. It's great for lymphatic drainage, and you don't have to be intense when you do it, just lightly over your certain points. We also talk about gua sha in the skin detox. You'll see that there too. Okay, a lot of never dry brushed before. Raw silk gloves. I love that. I want to know what that is. That sounds luxurious.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Nice.
dry brushing and exfoliating. I feel more radiant with it.
Yeah, this will be good for me too. I feel like I had a season where I was like so consistent with dry brushing, like pretty much every time before I got in the shower, I was dry brushing. And I've kind of fallen out of the habit. I'll still do it every once in a while, but I'm into doing it more often.
This one, I dry brush my body usually every morning after I do my 12 lymph sites and before sauna. That sounds like the perfect morning routine.
Seriously.
I love that. And that's a reminder on your name, it says iPhone and then a phone number. If you all are able to change it to your first and possibly last name, we've had some in the past where there's multiple names and people, although that seems pretty distinct and specific. If you're able to change it, that's great. If not, we'll figure it out. This is for choosing a winner.
Oh yeah. Someone says I love dry brushing and then using lotions after. Also so luxurious.
Hmm. Done a
Yes.
little, gets the blood flowing.
So G, mentioned she said she's interested in hearing about it. She's heard of it but hasn't done it. So a dry brush, I don't have mine on my desk, but it's like a stiff bristled brush that you gently and it is truly gently. You're not like scrubbing the skin because the bristles are very stiff. You just gently go in circular motions on the body and you're kind of moving everything towards the heart. Oh yeah, Rachel's got it. Yep, just like that. And it's super, super, I mean, it's relaxing, just like the sensation feels really good, but it also is really helpful for stimulating and moving, or like feeling like you're kind of stagnant. And there is a little bit of an exfoliation that happens with that too. So that's a little bit about what it is.
And a great question just came in. Is there one you use on your face? I use our bamboo one on my face as a dry brush specifically.
Mhm.
And that feels really nice. And I'll start along my clavicle, up my neck, around the back, and then I'll go, around my face, my lymph there as well. And that's really nice. Kate has that one in her hand.
Mhm.
Okay, Grace, how are you doing? Five? You got 5 winners? Okay.
I do have our 5 winners. I also want to mention I started dry brushing recently and I am hooked. My skin has never been smoother. I love it. So this is a very exciting one for me because I'm excited for everyone. Okay. Anyways, our 5 winners are Karen Boyd, Carla Hill, Alexis Livingston, Jojo McDonald, and Kelly Cunningham. So I will put all those names in the chat so you guys can see, as well as the form to fill out. So yay to you 5. It's life-changing. I'm so excited for you.
Congratulations. Okay, great. We've had a few people join the past minute, so welcome. And if you just joined, we're talking about our 21-day skin detox. We are doing 20% off until midnight tonight. And then also we have 2 codes, one for that and then one for getting the skin detox for free. So please take advantage of that. And Grace will plug that into the chat probably in a couple minutes. Okay, let's dive into products. So this next part, we're going to talk about week 1, 2, and 3. And Kate's going to, I want you to just dive in and ask me questions if you need, but dive into what you would suggest. And just to lay it out a little bit clear, week 1 will be simplify. So you're simplifying your routine, you're simplifying what you do in your life, all the things, let go of all of the extra steps that you're doing. Week 2 is detoxifying, and then week 3 is nourishing. So, as you incorporate all of the activities and all the food and the diet and the juices, all the things, think of that as well, but then also with skincare. So, Kate, do you want to kick it off?
So with week 1 being simplify, I recommend focusing on consistency with your routine throughout the week, which sounds like a very basic, offering or recommendation. But even for me, and I am such a skincare junkie, this is my life. I love this. I still miss nights and I still have mornings that I'm just like, oh, too tired to do the whole thing. And I'll usually do bits and pieces, but really committing to the 4 steps in your routine. So your cleanser, your toning mist, your serum, and your oil. Now, if you are someone who already uses something like the concentrated boosting elixirs, continue to use those. I'm going to continue to use mine. I'm definitely making sure to use my sunscreen in the morning, but really prioritizing my cleansing, toning, serum, plus boosters, and oil and or moisturizer if you have the facial cream, um, morning and evening. And not getting too worried about, is it time to do my mask? Is it time to scrub? Should I scrub today? Just really prioritizing, making sure that that happens every morning and every evening throughout these first 7 days. And for some of you who maybe are newer to Anne Marie Skincare, just to talk about a couple products, really quickly. The aloe herb cleanser is a great cleanser for a large portion of skin types, aging skin, dry skin, sensitive skin. All of those are supported with our aloe herb cleanser. This is probably what I'm going to use. My skin type's on the dry, sometimes sensitive side, so that's going to be mine. Toning mist wise. the Botanical Hydration Mist. I recommend this one for dry skin types, anyone who's kind of focusing on softening the appearance of signs of aging, and again, sensitive skin types, which is a lot of our kind of client base. So this is the one that I'm going to be using morning and evening. We, of course, have a bazillion other products, but I'm just kind of sticking to the ones that a lot of people will likely benefit from. In the morning, for me with my serum, I'm going to use our wild fruit serum. I think this one or the anti-aging serum. These are going to be kind of anchors in staving off signs of aging. The anti-aging serum has a lot of hyaluronic acid, and so you get a nice plump look to the skin. The wild fruit serum is going to have, that hyaluronic acid as well, but this also has stem cells. This has brighteners in it. We've got uva ursi, we've got cacao plum. So this one works on a lot of different signs of aging, fine lines, dark spots on the face. And then this one, if you have the concentrated boosting elixirs, or we're one of the lucky winners, boosting the serum with either the hydrate or the brighten or a combination of both in the morning is going to be what I stick to. Now in the evening, I guess I haven't decided. And Rachel, I don't know, I'm curious what you're going to do because I have our activated night serum and love it. But for the sake of simplifying, I might go a week without it and then just like reintroduce this and really see the difference when that comes back into my routine. What are you doing with that?
I agree. I'm gonna just use the wild fruit serum. I say
Yeah.
I mean, I love that one. I'll probably just use that one and possibly the restorative facial cream.
Yeah. Yep. And then whatever oil you're using, I mix the facial cream and the rejuvenating facial oil. And this is like my dream combo right here. And sticking to that morning and evening. And that's going to be how I simplify and focus on simplifying a lot of the other steps that can go on in my routine. Rachel, what are you doing? Is it similar?
I'll probably do the phytonutrient cleanser because that's my go-to morning and evening, and the botanical hydration mist. And then I like to mix the wild fruit serum with a little bit of the hydrate. I was doing the Brighten, but I like the Brighten mixed with the cream because it adds a
Mm.
little bit more oil to the cream. So I'll
Mhm.
use after the wild fruit serum, my skin's still damp. I'll do the restorative facial cream with a little bit of the Brighten, put it on, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Yep, this first week is really just prioritizing getting simple, straightforward and simple with your skincare routine. Now, week two, this is where we're going to prioritize detoxifying. And that can look a lot of different ways for different skin types. This could be simply exfoliating. I like the Radiant C mask and polish. Uh, for my skin type, again, dry on the sensitive side, I will definitely be using our resurfacing facial exfoliant at least once over the course of that week. This is such a profound kind of freshener for my skin. This is great for really any signs of aging. It does have a little bit of activity with it. So if you are really, really sensitive, you might not, use this one very long, or might opt for one of our other um, exfoliants there. And then the charcoal cacao mask is also a very supportive product for detoxifying the skin. The feel of this when this is on the skin is simultaneously like very tightening as it absorbs, and then very, very soft and smooth when you rinse this off. So I'm probably going to do this and this. I don't think I will do these the same night. I'm processing this one in real time. I guess we'll see. Probably not, but at least do them both over the course of the week. And so this is in addition to this foundational routine that I have already established. So I'm still doing my morning and evening routine, and then I'm adding in, exfoliating at some point. I'm doing the detoxifying mask, the charcoal cacao mask at some point. Um, and with the detoxification, if you have the activated night serum, this might be where you start to kind of reintegrate this one. The activated night serum again is the one that has our bioactive A. And so this one works like a retinol. This is our retinol alternative that we're recommending. Great for really anything that you might consider a retinol for. So fine lines, large pores, some kind of texture or rough skin. All of this, this can be super helpful for. So reintegrating this one just in the evening. This one is not one that we want you to apply and then go out into the sun or go out into the world. And then otherwise, let the routine stand, right? So adding in a couple products that are super supportive for detoxifying and keeping my foundational routine super solid. Um, yeah, Rach, are you thinking similar? Or you got different vibes? What's
Yeah, I'll
that feel?
probably do the Radiancy probably maybe twice not next week, the week after the second week. And I'll mix the resurfacing in between. Maybe I'll do the resurfacing in the evening and then the next morning do the Radiancy. And then
Mm.
maybe the second time I do the Radiancy, I'll do it as a mask. And maybe I'll mix it with the charcoal cacao
Uh-huh.
mask. So I kind of do a little mix there.
That's nice. Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I also want to mention we have also the kaolin micro exfoliant, which
Mhm.
you can apply as a mask or you can apply just as a scrub. And it's already pre-mixed, so you can kind of gently apply it, rub it in a little bit, leave it for 5, 10 minutes, scrub it
Mhm.
off, and that one's really nice. It's nice grit too.
Mhm.
We have a couple of questions, so I'm going to dive into these
Okay.
for you, Kate. And also, we've had quite a few people join in the past 10 minutes, 5 minutes. So I just want to remind everyone we're talking about the 21-day skin detox. We are giving it away for free right now until midnight, and we're also doing 20% off all products. So if you're taking notes, you'll have a chance to get them at discount. And Grace will click those in the chat in a minute. We're also doing quite a few giveaways, so just stay tuned for that. Okay, some questions here. What does the toner do? Let's talk just one sentence or two sentences about why they need a toner.
Yeah, this is such a great question. So I appreciate the opportunity to answer this. Using the toning mist and using our toning mist is beneficial for a couple of reasons. It's providing this burst of hydration and this burst of nutrition. And depending on the toning mist that you've opted for, that the nutrition that's formulated into that might look a little bit different. With the one that I had mentioned, the botanical hydration mist, this is providing this very soft feel with the hydrosols that anchor this one. We've also got several different types of chamomile. They are helping to soothe the skin. So it's working to support the skin in a particular direction. But on top of that, this is also a beautiful prime for the serums. All of our serums contain some variation of a humectant. And so when you've got a little bit of dampness on the skin, these humectants, whether it's hyaluronic acid, the tremella mushroom, it's already got some moisture to work with to plump the skin up. Furthermore, when you get to your oil step, if you're doing oil or you're doing cream, when you leave your skin a little bit dampened with the toning mist or mist it again, however you opt to do it, the feel of that, it really helps to pull that into the skin. So you get this very even absorption of the moisturizer into the skin of the face. So it's sometimes people leave it out, but it really changes the way the serum and the oil feel and the serum and the oil wear. It's very synergistic as part of this whole line and routine. So I absolutely recommend it as part of like a very basic skeletal routine, cleanser, toning mist, serum, and oil.
Amazing. Thank you.
Mhm.
And I just answered a few questions here that are relating to nourishing, which we'll get into in just 1 minute. One other question on detoxifying and exfoliation. Someone had asked, do you recommend exfoliating in the evening or the morning? Any thoughts there?
I don't know that I have a strong preference. I think it's kind of just like, what feels like you have enough time and comfort. I will note with the resurfacing facial exfoliant, because this one is just a little bit deeper, if you were opting to do this, first thing in the morning, please, please, please protect your skin with your sunlove before you go out into the world. I think this is a good rule of thumb to protect the skin at any point, but especially if you have opted to use the resurfacing facial exfoliant. But otherwise, if you're using the Radiant C, if you're using the Kaolin microexfoliant, if you're using the Ayurvedic facial scrub, all of those, I don't feel like it's as imperative to use it like, don't do it in the morning or don't do it in the evening. It's really whatever feels like fits your routine best.
Awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Let's dive into Nourish and then we'll see some more questions. And again, if you have questions, plug them in the chat and we will get to them towards the end.
Yeah, perfect. So week 3, we are focusing on nourishing the skin. I am absolutely, probably more than once, going to be using the coconut honey mask, and also the illuminating pearl mask. These two, so I'll talk about the illuminating pearl first. If you've ever been on a live call with us, I don't know if we have ever had a live call where we don't talk about this. It
For
just is,
sure.
we just are obsessed.
Mess with it.
Smell of it is so
Good
good.
morning.
Me too, actually. Tripping. So the illuminating pearl mask, the makeup of this, it is very hydrating. It is very kind of soothing on the skin. One of the key ingredients in that is the crushed pearl powder. And the crushed pearl powder, when you rinse that off, skin just has this very natural radiance to it. It just looks very, very gorgeous, very, very kind of radiant. And it really helps to provide this like comfy, soft, soothing for the skin. So that's the illuminating pearl. Now the coconut honey. This one, as the name suggests, is very anchored in coconut oil and honey. And so this one is, by definition, just a very nourishing product for the skin. This is one that I use quite a bit in the winter time, although definitely will use it throughout the year to really help to supplement moisture in my skin. So if you are someone who is dry, if you're someone who's concerned with fine lines, if you're someone who just like needs that burst of nutrition in the skin, the coconut honey mask really, really provides this very quickly. Now, with both of these, you don't have to, I think that we recommend that you leave them on for 15 minutes or longer. The 15 minutes is like so on the underside of how long I would leave this on the face. Now, of course, you could do 15 minutes, pop it on before you get in the shower, or rinse it off at the end. That's a great way to weave it into your routine. But there are plenty of days where I'll put that on and then I'll start working and work for a couple hours. And so it stays on the face quite a while. Yeah, it does not have to just be 15 minutes. You can leave that on more or less as long as you feel comfy. After a while, for both of them, the moisturizers kind of absorb, and then you've got a little bit of that honey on the surface. So it does get a little sticky, but yeah, there's not necessarily like a hard, make sure you remove it at this time kind of a feeling. So. What else with the nourishment? I'm definitely going to be incorporating the cream, our new restorative facial cream. And there's a good chance that I do incorporate it throughout. This has become kind of an anchor in my routine. But when we're focusing on putting nourishment into the skin and supporting the skin, the restorative facial cream really checks that box. And if you've been with us for a while, this is of course a newer product. The cream is not something that we have had before this one, and so we're also just especially excited to be able to offer that, the restorative cream.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would also add you could start adding in your eye cream, your eye serum, kind of your enhancements during this period. And if you didn't already add in your boosting elixirs, add those in now as well
Mhm.
during this period. Yeah.
I see a really good question that says, can you please talk about nourishing other parts of the skin, like the arms and the legs, which is an amazing question. So I love, for daily use, I really love the Radiant C, or the other one, Radiant Skin Silk. When I got our names. Radiant Skin Silk, and the feel of this one, I use this on my neck quite a bit, but also on the skin on the arms and the legs. Um, when we're talking about really nourishing, really providing this like support for the skin, we have our Palo Santo body butter, which is one that you might opt for, particularly on week 3. That's a very rich, just luscious feeling body product. I've also put, like a little dollop of that into my bath before, which also feels amazing. Please be super careful if you opt for that because obviously you've got some oil in the water, so your bathtub can feel slick. But the Palo Santo body butter is another product that's really awesome for putting nourishment, providing moisture, all of that. So yes, 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 yes. Happy to help.
Should we dive into another giveaway and then we'll start addressing some questions?
Let's do
And do the
it.
Radiant C?
I actually was thinking the illuminating pearl mask, but I don't know if you have that in your head for later.
Oh, do it.
Okay, let's do it. What do you think? Three?
Yeah, three sounds great.
Okay. So what I want to know, I'm curious if anyone has ever done any kind of like detoxifying, treatment, the 30-day, what is it? The 30-day fix?
Whole 30?
Whole 30, that's what I'm thinking. Anything like that. I'm just curious what your relationship is to detoxes like this.
And again, we're giving away three of the illuminating pearl masks, which, if you've been on a live call before, you've heard us praise it. You need it. Okay.
Being
No,
super interesting ones. Juice fasting, whole 30.
the gluten gets me every time. I'm with you, Tina. I'm there. I love it. I'm like allergic to non-gluten. Uh, liver flush for over 3 weeks.
Mm. Oh, green smoothie girl. Love that.
Intermittent fasting, sugar and gluten free. Oh, exciting, Polly. We're happy you're here. Can Baker, hopefully the Skin Detox adds a lot of ease so you can see easy recipes. You can maybe meal prep or juice prep or smoothie prep. Hopefully it'll be okay for you to do.
Mhm.
Not too challenging.
I know we keep saying it, but don't beat yourself up if you get off a day, if you miss a meditation, if oh goodness, I had coffee this morning, like, oh, all right, that's cool. And then we're just gonna come back to the 21-day detox and um yeah, taking care of ourselves without pounding a bunch of guilt into ourselves throughout this as well.
For sure.
Ooh, Dandy Blend. Tina just got some Dandy Blend. Nice.
Delicious. Okay. Grace, how you doing?
Good. I just love reading all these answers.
I
We have three
know.
winners. So our winners are Janet Gilliand, Mama Ayana, and then Diane Davis. So yay to you three. I will put those names in the chat as well with the form, but I'm so excited because I know we praise it all the time, but that mask is amazing.
Hey, congratulations, everyone. That's
Awesome.
okay, cool. Let's get to some of these questions. I want to scroll back up because I know there are
Mm,
you here. And Kate, if you have them on the top of mind.
yeah, I'm
I,
scrolling up.
I answered some in the chat, but if you still have questions on your question or on my responses, just add it in the chat and we will answer it. Um, and if we've had a few people join, if you're just now joining, we are talking about our 21 days skin detox. We are giving it away for free until tonight. The code will be in the chat. We're also doing 20% off until tonight at midnight. That code is also going to be in the chat from Grace. So we hope that you join us. We're starting our skin detox on Monday, this coming Monday, the 5th. And so this is kind of our kickoff call to talk about all the things, make sure you get all your products ready, and then possibly go grocery shopping this weekend. Maybe just eat a lot of cake this weekend so you don't miss it. But yeah, it's prepping yourself to hit the ground running on Monday.
Yeah.
So we have a question about serums and then also going over the boosting elixirs, mixing them with your serum. It's not PM only. Kate, do you want to give a brief, like 30-second synopsis on those?
On the concentrated boosting elixirs?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a set of 30, right? We've got one called Hydrate, This is hyaluronic acid and peptides. We've got one called Brighten. This is a pure shelf-stable vitamin C and sea buckthorn berry. And then our final one called Revitalize. And the Revitalize contains our bioactive A and then astaxanthin. And the bioactive A is a retinol alternative. What these are these are concentrated kind of concentrated blends that we boost our products with. We boost either the serum or the oil. I know, Rachel, you've put this in masks before. You're putting this into something else. We don't want this to be applied directly to the skin. So that's one of the first things to think about. The hydrate, this is helping to plump the skin. This is putting a good amount of hydration into the skin. This is awesome if you are somebody who is particularly dry, someone who is really wanting to plump the skin. The brighten, as the name very cleanly illuminates, is helping to brighten the tone, even the texture of the skin. With using the shelf-stable vitamin C, we really kind of help to even the overall complexion. So this one, if you're working on dark spots, great for you. And then, of course, the Revitalize again. This one is that retinol alternative. This one we recommend for softening fine lines, for kind of providing this gentle smoothing to the skin, helping to kind of refine pores, the appearance of pores, all of that. Anywhere where you would consider a retinol, I would recommend this. Now, with this one in particular, with this one being a retinol alternative, this one is for nighttime wear only. So we're not going to mix this one into your serum during the day. We want to just sure to take that extra step of precaution and only do this one in the evening. And what I like to do is I'll do, anywhere from 2 to 3 pumps of my serum right into the palm of my hand, obviously twist the top off and do 1 to 3 drops of the booster. When you get past 3 drops, it's a little bit much. It's a little bit too much. So we keep it around 3 drops and then just gently blend it and apply it to the face. And that's how I get that onto the skin. I have tried a couple of these in the cream. I kind of haven't for a minute because I've really just been doing the combo of the rejuvenating facial oil and the facial cream. But you do have the option to mix that into your moisturizer as well. So it doesn't have to be the serum. So yeah, those are our boosters there.
Great.
Yeah.
I have another question, and I want to know how you would answer it. Is it okay to continue using Retin-A, and how do I wean off of it? You weren't supposed to just quit cold turkey.
Yeah. What was the first part of the question again?
Is it
Is it
okay to continue using it? And then if not, how do I wean off?
So I don't know if this is a what form of Retin-A this is. If this is a prescription, and I'm going to say this for probably any prescription, we're going to take care of what has been recommended by health practitioner first. So if your health practitioner has prescribed you to stay on this, and it feels like maybe a little bit too much to be transitioning off of that, keep that and just kind of build your routine around it. If you are using that one in the routine, be very, very gentle with any other products that you're using. So don't go with deeper scrubs. Don't do the resurfacing facial exfoliant. Now, retinols aren't usually what I would be recommending. So if you are wanting to kind of taper that, you want to do just that. I don't know the frequency with which you're using it now, but start to dial it back slowly. And depending on the percentage that you've got, this might be a very slow. So it might be use even, half of the amount, but you're still using that at the same frequency. It might be that you just take one night off a week, and then by the end, you're taking 3 nights off throughout the course of the week. Yeah, I would move carefully and listen to your body with it. Um, yeah, and like I mentioned, with all prescriptions, follow what has been advised by, your healthcare practitioner. So that's how I'd advise the tapering of that one.
Yeah, and I would just talk to them. Talk to whoever, if it is a prescription, talk to them and ask them if you can get off and what they would suggest. Because I don't think there actually are side effects or medical risks of getting off of it, but I would ask them. You'll definitely see your skin change drastically when you get off immediately cold turkey, but I
Mhm.
think you'll be okay as a human. But I would say talk to your doctor who prescribed it.
Yeah.
Um, The other question here was I love Sun Love, but it feels a bit heavy. I definitely don't add moisturizer of any kind after. Any suggestions? I would want to ask if you're letting your oil or cream dry before adding it. And if not, go ahead and do that. If you're using an oil, maybe switch to the cream. Just
Mhm.
dab a little bit of the cream on, let it dry completely. And then before you leave the house, do a pump of Sun Love and pat that on. Kate, would you
Yeah.
have any suggestions there?
I think that potentially switching to the cream is a really good suggestion. You could also mist your skin before you apply it, and that might really help to get that kind of even absorption with the Sun Love. So, but what you said also I think is perfect too.
Great. Okay, cool. We have just 5 minutes, so I want to see any other questions. This is recorded and we are gonna send a recap. So if you came on late, I would suggest checking it out or just reading through the Skin Detox thoroughly. I'm reading a question here, avoiding caffeine, is decaf coffee okay? I want to reiterate the goal is to get to a happy place that you can maintain. It's not to stress out your body. It's not to just quit everything cold turkey. So if you're drinking caffeine every day right now, I would switch to maybe every other day, every 3 days, slowly taper it, slowly switch to decaf coffee, and then slowly taper that off. So you're kind of like taking where your starting point is and minimizing it. So if you don't drink caffeine at all, maybe you drink decaf coffee once a week, maybe you just cut that out. So it's just being gentle with yourself and not being too rigid and strict and intense and that, because that's not
Yeah.
going to feel good.
Yeah. Gosh, I can't believe we're already at the time.
No, I'm
What?
trying to see if there's any other questions here. The botanical hydration mist on an airplane. Yes, with the hydrate. I think that
Mhm.
would be really nice. I also want to mention Kate does, and Emily, they do group consultations. So, Grace, if you can plug that in here, those are really helpful calls. If you need some more support with your routine, what to incorporate, what to do, those are very tailored to, the group's needs. And then also, an
Mhm.
exciting thing, we just
Yes.
launched a paid consultation option. So Kate
Yeah.
is doing these. They are a paid consultation. Kate, do you want to talk about them for a second?
I do. I was looking for the link. I want to grab the PDP. Maybe
I could
Grace.
add it. I'm happy.
Okay, she's got that. So the paid consultations, they're going to be obviously a lot more in depth. So we're going to be talking about your skin, of course. We're going to be talking about, what your skin routine looks like, but we're also going to kind of zoom out and we're going to look at things like your diet. We're going to look at things like your stress and how you're handling stress. All of these other factors that can impact how your skin is presenting, and just really wanting to kind of re-angle and tweak things so that your wholeness is kind of supported. We're going to be talking about, what routine works for your skin needs, any recommended routines or changes or products, all of that. So we're super excited to be doing those. I feel like this has been something that people have been looking for quite some time now. So Rachel's looking for the link for that. Oh, you found them.
It's
So
in
yeah,
there.
the link is here in the chat. The process with this, you're going to check out with that, and then immediately is when you'll receive the link to schedule. And then we'll get you on the books and start the process there. So yay.
Keep in mind, there's only 10 slots open right now. So if it sells out, we will have a wait list and she will open up more slots. But I'm excited for this one. I think it'll be really good. And Jeanette, yeah, same. It should be nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Any other questions that you've seen here? So many things here. Are all of our products free of chemicals? So I guess it's just how you define chemicals. I guess water can be considered a chemical, but yes, synthetic and harmful chemicals, we do not use any of that. If you want to check out some of our values, I'm going to add it. I'm going to do defining clean because this is a very comprehensive page
Mm.
where I kind of dove into how we define clean beauty as a company. and it talks about what we don't include in our products, what we do include in our products. Having made safe products, made safe verified products, I would check out that page if you would like to know more about the quality of our products. Um,
I'm just typing a few answers really quick here.
okay, great. And just a reminder, get the Skin Detox. It's free.
Yeah,
It's good to just have because there's so many recipes in there. So
yeah.
that link is in the chat. You'll have it free until midnight tonight. Also, if you have a bunch of products that you heard about on this call, you can get them at 20% off. So I would suggest doing that.
Mhm.
And Grace has those in the chat.
Yay. And reminder, of course, that both of those coupons are turned off at midnight Pacific time tonight. So you've got today to do some shopping, to get yourself prepared to get the detox guide. That detox guide is totally free. And get prepared. And then Monday we start.
Hey. Okay, we
Awesome.
should end in just a minute. I think the last question, yes, our cream just launched over this past month or two. We can put that link in the chat as well. You try it out. If it feels better than an oil, this was created because we had so many people asking about using a cream instead of an oil. We have always said oils are superior, which, if you talk to Bunny, our formulator, they are. But this one combines the quality of a serum and an oil, and it's using butters and it's blending it to create this perfect emulsion that kind of gives some hydration and moisturization. And it has all of the activated ingredients like the ceramides and stem cells and things like that. So it's an incredible product. We're actually going to have a live call going over this product in depth specifically, I think in a couple of months. So check out our events page as well if you want to RSVP and get notified. I'm going to find, Grace, do you have that one? I think I have it here. Yeah. Okay, I'll put that one in the chat. Yeah, so if you want to see more of our events, there's that link. And yeah, I guess last words of wisdom. Kate, anything from you?
Oh my God, no pressure. I think the biggest thing is just to kind of receive this as an opportunity. Look to what you can add and prioritize adding in the good, the do's, almost more so than all of the don'ts. And so just reorienting into expanding versus taking a bunch of stuff out. And it's gonna be great.
Yeah, be gentle with yourself. Remember, this is not a sprint, it's a marathon. I guess that's saying. But really, don't cut everything out right away. Be gentle with yourself. If you've added in months of habit, you can't take them away in just a couple days. So
Yeah.
give yourself time, give yourself patience and grace. And yeah, reach out to us if you have questions or if you need support. If you're like, go also, you can go on the Facebook page, the Insiders community page, and just chat with us. We're here. We're doing it with you. We
Yeah.
literally are doing it. I will be doing it on Monday.
Yep.
Monday, we're not doing calls every day or every Monday. This is the one call that we're doing. We're going to send another email. This is just for you.
Yeah.
Start Monday. We start Monday.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and don't forget there's lots of recipes in that Skin Detox. So if you want to take a look at it after this call to kind of create your grocery shopping list, that might be helpful. Okay.
Yay.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Kate. Thanks.
Yay. Thanks, everyone.